Hello, my name is Nisha Holmes, and I work as a senior consultant on the delivery team here at Analysis Prime. And today I'd like to discuss one of the enhancements for the second quarter of 2025. And this gives us the ability to combine data sources in the wrangling experience. And this was previously available with the classic model, and now it's available with the new model type. So what I've done here is I've loaded up a flat file or my first data source, and I've done any prior wrangling that need to be done for this particular data source. And now I wanted to combine. What I'm doing here is you can see I have the value, I have a location, and version. And what I want to do is I want to add for the revenue and the expenses, and for these particular locations, I want to add the salespeople for those locations. And so these locations have multiple salespeople assigned to those locations, and we have assigned, or I have assigned them a percentage of the revenue and the expenses for each salesperson at each location. So to combine this data, I select Combine, and then I'm going to go find that file. And you can see the sales rep data I want to bring in. And I'll import that. Okay, so here what I want to do is I want to combine the two intersecting. I want to combine the from each data table. I want to combine the data that I want to intersect. Date, we're going to use date here. In this case, is coming in as key in the original data set, and then date here. And I also want to combine the location. So if you wanted to get really specific, you could certainly bring in, for instance, the version. If I wanted each version to have a percentage change or percentage allocation for each salesperson based on location and the version, we could do that. But I've decided not to do that. So as you can see, you can see down here, as I intersect them, you can see the rows that I've intersected. And so I have the new model data over here. That's my original data. And then I'm bringing in the sales reps. You can do all primary data. And what that would do is it would bring in all of the primary data on my left here. And if there wasn't an intersection here on my second data set that had data, for instance, if I brought in, say, here we have 2025 0101 for USA _01. If I didn't have that intersection over here, it would still bring it in. It would still bring the data in with this, showing this intersection with the primary data, but the secondary data would read null. So at this point, I just want to bring in the intersecting data. So what that'll do is, if the data doesn't intersect, if there isn't an intersection on both of these that match, then it won't bring in that line of data. So let's go ahead and combine that data. Okay, so now we have this new data, and you can see here, here's the sales rep. We have the sales rep ID and the description, and then the values. So as you can see here, if I were to look this up by Canada, we have Tammy Happy, and she received 21%. And then Sherry Jones received 37. Harrison Smith receives the other 47 for Canada in this particular case. So because I'm going down to more granular data, what I'll want to do here is take the value Now, you may not run into this every time with yours. You may be just fine. You don't have to go down to a lower granularity. So I'm just going to add that value and calculate it out. So value 1 times value 2, or the original value times the imported value, or the split value. This is the percentage split or allocation for the salesperson by location. So now I have a new value that I'm going to use when I'm mapping this information. So let's just go ahead and we'll map to the facts. So I have a sales rep that I'll bring in here, the ID. And then my new value here, this is my new value that I'll bring in. And then just for kicks, I'll bring in also the percentage sales rep split. Oh, I've had as you can see here, I'm showing value as a string, so I do need to go back, and we'll just correct that real quick. Okay. And then I just make sure I've my import settings. You can choose how you want to do these. And in my case, this is how I've chosen to do it. And then next, it'll validate it. And then you'll just run your regular import. So hopefully this helps if you want to add or combine data sets, either flat files or other data sources. You can do that through here now with the new model type.